But let's shift focus to banking now. So why did the 24th chief of the SBI, Arundhati Bhattacharya, choose to become a banker? And how did Bhattacharya, a literature graduate, prepare for the PO examination, in which the candidates are also tested for their numerical skills? CNBC TV18's Lata Venkatesh caught up with the first woman chairman of SBI, who has retired recently. Here's a slice of that conversation.
Did you enter with the idea that, you're going to make it big? You're not going to settle for anything small? Or is it just that things evolved?
I think things evolved. At that point of time, there were very few jobs that you could get without knowing somebody. And I knew nobody. And on top of that, I was in a hostel. So, my parents were in one of the steel cities. So a few of us in the hostel, we sort of got together and we took a bet that we would crack this exam. And that's how we did this exam. And in those days, there were no guides, no coaching classes.
IAS was not a temptation?
IAS, actually, there was a problem with IAS, and I'll tell you that also. The problem with IAS is you need to know one subject up to postgraduate level.
Yes, that's true.
And that subject cannot be a language. So, because I was doing English, I had a handicap where IAS was concerned. Whereas, this one had no such handicap. And in those days, the salaries were comparable. In fact, I think we had,
was higher than
100 rupees or 200 rupees higher than IAS. So, in balance, it worked out fine for me. Again, I didn't have to study much for this. As I said, no coaching classes. All that we studied from was something called the competition master. And I think what stood me in very good stead, and which is why I scored very well in the exams, was the fact that I used to tutor two young girls.
Okay.
And both of them were total duds in maths. So I used to give them a half an hour of mental maths every day. Okay. And I think that sort of prepared me for the exams as well.
Well, anyways, IAS's loss and banking's gain. Okay, let me stick with this confrontation problem which every leader has to face. Look at a person like R.K. Talwar. I mean, he's at least my icon, though I've never seen him. He had led the bank from, strength to strength, and yet look at the way he had to exit for no fault of his. In fact, I remember my father saying that SBI Act had to be amended so that they could, ease him out in an ex parte judgment. And he used to call it the Talwar Hatao Amendment, if I remember right. Now, how do you manage confrontations like that? Was a Talwar lesson in your mind when you handle these problems?
See, he is quite a legend in the bank, so all of us know about all the...
You met him?
No, I haven't met him. In fact, I came in when Mr. Nambiar was the chairman. And again, a very, very, it's one of the, what should I say, the icons in the bank at that point of time. See, means managing confrontation, as I told you, the main thing is that you don't have to go head-on-head with somebody. You need to find the logic and be able to very clearly communicate the logic. I think that also, in a way, I have had a little advantage is that I have been able to communicate well. And that has given me a little bit, few brownie points maybe, and has enabled me to coach things in a manner that sounds more reasonable than confrontationist.